Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, which is an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Rev, the floor is yours.
Namaste and greetings, everyone. So if we are ready to dive in, I don't hear you.
Ready.
I hear Tracy. Okay, she said you're ready, so let's go.
Let me see.
So let's go. Unconditional Love is powerfully committed to a holy, holy revolutionary act that exudes grace, compassion, and boldness. Science of Mind and Spirit is a revolutionary, radical evolutionary teaching that positions us at the leading edge of global transformation, and those who engage in it at that level walk the walk by balancing both love and law. Sounds good, doesn't it? But yes, how it sounds and what it looks like are two very different things. So come with me for a moment as we venture into the average American living room as the family enjoys watching television, when all of a sudden they find out the revolution will not be televised. Oh my. What tends to happen? Any number of things jump into somebody's mind when you mention this word revolution, right? In one mind, you have this idea of, oh my goodness, revolution means war, because there was the Revolutionary War. Yeah, you got the concept. But in the other mind is the idea of, now it's time for change. Now it is time for us to turn once again, to shift, to grow, to evolve. Is that an easy thing to do? No. Is that a comfortable thing to do? Very often not. And yet, this teaching, that is what the teaching is about. Being open at the top is about ever evolving, ever growing, ever shifting, ever becoming more and more and more of the truth of who and what we are. Ernest Holmes says, the spiral of life is upward. Now, I know many times we say things like going down the rabbit hole, things like that. But what if we can spiral up the rabbit hole? I mean, if you're going to really think about Alice in Wonderland, I mean, she took one bite and she got big. She took another bite, she got small. Like, there's in the land of, why can't we spiral up the rabbit hole? Why couldn't Neo, because I believe that he actually did, spiraled up the rabbit hole and woke up? So let's go back to Ernest. Evolution carries us forward, not backwards. So yeah, no, I'm segueing again. So when we say when the pandemic is done, we want to get back to normal. Oh, I almost said bad words. No, there is no going back to normal. No matter how hard you try. Let's make America, what again? Say what? No, that's backwards looking. If we are truly an evolutionary teaching and we are being at the cutting edge of, then it is always forward. So when the pandemic is done, it is a new forward. Everything that we are moving, living, and having our beingness is part of this upward spiral, this evolutionary impulse moving us forward to the next greater yet to be, not the yesterday's greatest yet to be, yet to was, yet to what I don't even, because it makes no sense. Back to Ernest. Eternal and progressive expansion is its law, and there are no breaks on its continuity. It seems to me that our evolution is the result of unfolding consciousness of that which already is and needs but to be realized to become fact in everyday life. It already is. Spirit already is. All we need to do is recognize it. We need to embody it. We need to embody what already is. In the same way that you can tell someone, you are such an amazing dancer, but until they embody it, they're not going to do it. You can tell someone, you're an excellent singer, but until they embody it, they're not going to sing. You are such an amazing demonstration of the infinite I am, but until we embody it, it's just a statement. So let me ask you a question, speaking about everyday life. We've all been here in one shape or form. We've all been at a supermarket or a corner bodega or something where we were shopping and buying, produce or condiments or something. We were buying something in the grocery store. But when we go shopping, how do we shop? Do we shop the way some people shop, where they come in the store and they hit each and every aisle, working methodically through? Or some go, I know exactly what I'm here to get. Tracy and I don't shop that way because we go to the store with 3 things on the list and we come out with 33. But anyhow, I digress. When you shop, what determines what you buy? Are you shopping based upon the nutritional value of what you're getting, the health benefits of it, the taste of it, the cost and value? Are you shopping based upon the name or the brand? Are you shopping based upon, well, what I want isn't available, so I'll get this other thing? Are you shopping because you're a customer who has used Maxwell House? I've been a Maxwell House coffee drinker since I was 5. I am very comfortable with Maxwell House. I don't like Folgers. I don't like Sanka. It's not my thing. I'm not comfortable with those flavors, right? But anyhow, what do you shop based upon? Because we've often said, how you do any one thing is how you do everything. Well, if that's the case, then let's ask the question, so when it comes to love, how do you love? Because if you're shopping based upon certain criteria, do you love based upon what's good for you? Do you love based upon what's healthy for you? Do you love based upon the taste? And pump your brakes. When I say taste, I'm saying some people say, you have great taste in people. I'm not talking to, watch it. You have great taste in people. Or, yeah, I'm one of those people who always picks the wrong, because some people say, I gravitate toward, or why do I always get those folks who are, the bad boys or the bad girls or is it based upon your taste? The cost. What is the cost of being in that relationship? What is the value of being in that relationship? What is the value of loving the way that you love? Is there a name or a brand? This is my boo. This is my polyamorous relationship people. Is it based upon what you call it? Like, you don't really love the person, but you like what it's called. It's called relationship. It's called marriage. But are you really married? Or are you just in a partnership for convenience? You know what I'm saying? How do you love? Do you love based upon availability? Well, who I want isn't available, so I'll take the next best thing or the next something. Or do you love based upon comfort? I just love because I can't be alone. I don't like being alone. How we do one thing can very well be how we do everything. Because if it's all spirit and it's all a spiritual practice, then literally, if God is all there is and what it is each of us is, then everything we do, when looked at through the lens of it's God shopping, it's God out on a date, then how does God show up? How does God see itself in this, whatever it is, this shopping experience, this dating experience, this romantic experience, this friendship, this whatever it is? How do you love? And when you say love, what are we talking about? Because there are a variety of ways that we can express or feel love. Eros, romantic or sexual love. Many will be in a sexual relationship and they'll say, I love this person, but is that specifically the kind of love you are referring to? Or are you willing to say, I have unconditional love, agape? My love is without bounds. I don't put conditions or limits on it. I love you simply because. So when we think of love, keeping in mind that at the bottom of this chart, there is mania, obsessive love, because from that comes jealousy, because you are obsessed with the idea of, you are obsessed with a feeling of, and therefore it causes a mania, which we know to be, root word for maniac, one who is out of their minds for X, Y, and Z reason. So it's very beneficial for us to be mindful of. I love going bowling, Tracy. Where is that on there? Oh, ludus, to play, to have fun, love that is exciting. So while we may say, but that's not really love. If you love bowling, but actually it is, it can be. It is a category of the broad scope of how love can show up. And the question is always, because love it's God. It's all there is. But the question is, how are you feeling, expressing, utilizing that? Are you utilizing it in a healthy manner? Because you can eat vegetables or you can eat cake 7 meals a day. It's breakfast, lunch, dinner, and it's my 4 snacks. Is that going to benefit you in the way that you want? Or is it an unhealthy way of expressing? No matter how, if Safi gave me her guitar for a moment and I start strumming, I'm in some way, shape, or form, I'm hitting the same chords per se that she plays. But the way I'm doing it, it's still sound, but is it musical? Is it melodic? Or is it more chaotic? In the hands of someone who is skilled at love, love encompasses all, love transforms, and love builds and inspires. But in the hands of someone who is selfish and stingy and self-absorbed and fearful, love becomes a weapon of destruction, because then you want to hurt. And I know many would say, but that's not really love. But if God is all there is and love is all there is, then it's love being used in the most ineffective, unhealthy way possible, because love must be present. God is present, so love must be present. And I know that's possibly a very uncomfortable idea to think that it's there, but it has to be there. God is there. Then love has to be there. Now, how they're expressing it in any given moment, how are we expressing God? Anyone who is racist, God must still be there. Sexist, God must still be there. But how are they tuning in and tapping into it? They're still using the same law of mind in action. but what are they using it to build or create or to destroy and damage? It's still there. So when we talk about this thing called love, once again, there's this idea of, well, if I'm using it and I want to use it more effectively, then how am I using it? How am I communicating? Which of the love languages which ones do I want to be communicated when someone as the receiver, but also am I willing to communicate to others using them as well? How aware am I of what it means to words of affirmation? That's when we give compliments, when we affirm someone, when we say something nice. Actions that you can take that are part of words of affirmation, sending people notes or cards or a text simply to say, thank you, I appreciate you, I love you, or anything that you want to say. But also using that same power, same love language in a way that is detrimental, less life affirming, is to afford or offer criticism, condemnation, and judgment. So if we're going to really, really get into a practice, then it benefits us to know the tools and then one by one engage them. Because otherwise, are we really giving love to another the way that we could? Are we really receiving love to the degree or the way that we could? Because if not, then we're giving it based upon conditions. What am I going to get in return for giving this Christmas gift? What am I going to get in return for telling them that I appreciate them? I'm only complimenting you because I want you to give me a compliment back. Then was your compliment selfless? Was it compassionate? Or was it simply part of a chess game where you are moving your love in an opportunistic way to get what you want? Then there's, what do they want from me? So I keep you at bay. No, I'm good. I don't need help. I'll do it on my own. Because if you come in, then you want something. No. Keep your compliments. Keep your gifts. Because the moment you give me a gift, it means you want something. No. What do you want from me? But what happens when we embody love itself? It simply says, spread me, give me, receive me, be me, embody me, live as me. When we embody love, there is no thought for who gets what, how gets how, who, when, where, why, which. Love simply is. And it is an empowered beingness with no thought of, what do I get in return? What is the selfishness of this? It simply says, yes, I am. So for a moment, let's imagine that you are being interviewed, microphone in hand, and someone says, there's this thing called a world that works for all. There's this idea of love. In your opinion, what is the role of love, or what do we need in the world to shift and bring peace and joy into the world? Some would say, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Tracy's shaking her head. She's like, Tracy says, Safi, you need to give me singing lessons. But some would say that's what the world needs. It needs love, and it needs more of it. Yeah, actually, no, because then that implies that there is more love to give. And there isn't more love because there is no more of God to give. God is all there is. Love is all there is. Question is, are we acknowledging it and living from that? And some, the sarcastic folks or the pessimistic folks would say, what's love got to do with it? Like, what is that going to do? Love? Because I'm not trying to love thy enemy. No, I really don't want to love my enemy. That's why I call him my enemy. Because enemy is synonymous with get out my house. Tracy's like, yep. So what does love have to do with it? And when we're talking about a world that works for all, who's this all? because the all includes the racist, the sexist, the homophobe, the neo-Nazi. Why would I ever want to create a world that works for them? I don't. But see, when we recognize and understand that love is the thing, then there is no more need for there to be a neo-Nazi, a KKK member, a hate monger, a warmonger. There's no need for them anymore, because what we know is that hurt people. But when everyone has been elevated to this place where their needs are met, they feel included, then there is no more need to be in the gang called KKK. There is no more need to be in the gang called apartheid. That gang mentality that excludes no longer has a place, no longer has a paradigm from which to grow. It's gone extinct. But the question once again is, how are we embodying this? How are we becoming this embodiment of a revolutionary kind of love, an evolutionary kind of love? Coming to you live from the studio audience, Kate says, today at the Center for Spiritual Living, it has been identified as a site, a massive evolving consciousness, a demonstration of, Tracy. CSL Greater Baltimore is the site of, they have witnesses who have witnessed a massive demonstration of evolving consciousness, which has shifted the region, right? And witnesses report random acts of kindness, random acts of love, random acts of compassion. That's why it's in quotation marks, random. She's a news person, Tracy. She doesn't come to CSL Great. She might after this, because Tracy said random. There's nothing random. But she doesn't know that, Tracy, right? She's a news person, right? But she's going to learn because she's going to show up. And there's no sign of this vibration slowing down. It is going global. But it only does this when we, because there is no CSL Greater Baltimore without us. There is no CSL without us. There is no demonstration of this love without us. So how are we embodying it? How are we showing up as that? Howard Thurman says, a strange necessity has been laid upon me to devote my life to the central concern that transcends the walls that divide and would achieve in literal fact what is experienced as literal truth. Human life is one, and all people are members of one another. And this insight is spiritual, and it is the hard core of religious experience. Are we willing to remove walls, boundaries, borders in our consciousness that identifies someone as other to such a degree that we are unwilling to extend love? In our consciousness, extend love. Radiate the energy of love. Ho'oponopono doesn't mean you walk up to your disgruntled neighbor because they don't like the wind chimes in your tree. And so Ho'oponopono doesn't say you go knock on their door. Hello, Tracy? Yes. Tracy says, yes. I just want to say, I love you. Forgive me. I'm sorry. And boom, at which time Tracy's not even gonna let you finish. She'd be like, boom, the door's closed. What are you talking about? You come over to my house talking about something. I love you, forgive me, I'm sorry. Boop. She said, I really wouldn't open the door. So I'm going to ho'oponopono through the door then. And she's like, go 9-1, I'm telling you now. Are we willing to open the door in our consciousness to extend, because Ho'oponopono doesn't need to be said to the person. It is a practice that I engage in, that we engage in this moment, that radiates the energy out into the world, that causes the vibration to move up through the earth itself, because it's all God. So creating a ripple in one area of the pool that we are all in affects all of the water that we are all in. Creating a ripple in consciousness, no matter where we are, ripples throughout all of consciousness. There is only one mind. But we have to be willing to create waves. We have to be willing to do the work that requires us to be different in the world. Octavia Butler says, all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change that spiral up, the evolutionary impulse that moves us forward. So in this idea of what it means to be a revolutionary love, to spiral up, to step into this brand of love, are we willing? Because the moment you say yes, that energy causes someone else to say yes. And where two or more are gathered in the power of, then others say yes. And then others say yes, until such time as it's a world that works for all. So while the revolution may not be televised on the television set, the revolution is televised by how each of us chooses to live our lives. The revolution is televised by how you choose to live. And even more empowering than that is recognizing that the revolution is demonstrated by how you live. The revolution, the radical evolution of spirit, is demonstrated by how each of us chooses to live, how we embody it. Ernest Holmes said in the book, Can We Talk to God? If we make ourselves receptive to the idea of love, then we become lovable. To the degree that we embody love, we are love. Now, we're it anyway, but to the degree that we embody it, it vibrates in a completely different way. In the same way that the dancer who knows she can dance, the singer who knows she can sing, but doesn't do it, it's still there. The voice is still there. The dance is still there. The song is still there. But the moment they embody it, they become the song. They become the dance. This is why people who love are loved. It does not pay to hate. Hate is a human idea. Love is a divine truth. Love is a divine verity. Love is, capital T, truth in expression. This week's practice, we are invited to journal or ask ourselves, what would it mean for me to practice a revolutionary kind of love? What would that mean for me to practice it? What does that kind of love invite me to be and to do in the world? Where is one place this week that I can be more loving to myself, to be more loving to my friends, to be more loving to my family, to my community? Where can I communicate and ask for what I want regarding our love languages? Where can I ask for? Where can I be bold enough to say, you know what? One of my love languages is words of affirmation. You know, it would be great to hear you, because I know you do great things for me, like you buy me gifts and stuff. I appreciate that. But can you remind me verbally or in writing, like, are we willing to ask for what we want? Remembering in the Bible, there's a passage that says, you have not because you ask not. Part of being revolutionary is asking for what you desire and asking for what you deserve. And then lastly, Have a conversation with two people about where in my life have I done this in the past, or where in my life am I doing this now? What currently withholding giving, or currently withholding the ability to receive love? Where have I done that in the past? Where might I be doing that in the present? Where do I feel like love betrayed me? Or where do I feel like love saved me? Just have a conversation about it. Once again, no criticism, no, just converse and express. And as always, if anybody wants copies of the slides or anything, just let Tracy know and she'll make sure you get them. Today's declaration, our affirmation of truth. I will say it first and then together. I am an ambassador of revolutionary love. Together, I am an ambassador of revolutionary love. And so we breathe in gratitude, recognizing that the infinite power and presence of spirit must be right here and right now. So as Safi said, no matter what kind of relationship you may have had or are currently having with your biological mom, your adoptive mom, your surrogate mom, your however she shows up, recognize that this energy of mom, this energy of life, this energy of the divine feminine, this energy of Mother Earth is the very energy that is still you. You get to choose. So as we close service, recognizing that in this moment, no matter what the relationship with mom, we send them love. If we ourselves are moms, we embody the love that we receive from not only our biological children, our children of choice, but we embody love to such a degree that the earth itself sings out, recognizing the divinity of Mother Earth. And that Mother Earth returns to us the same mental equivalent of love, and that Mother Earth takes care of us as well. That the infinite Mother Spirit cares for itself as us. So that every flower and every song, every heartbeat, every prayer is a prayer of joy and gratitude for this life that is eternal and infinite. It doesn't get much more revolutionary than that. And so it is. Namaste and blessings, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You are loved. Take care.